At the western edge of Huansu village, there was an old forest that no one dared to pass through after dark. The elders often said that on nights when the moon was full, a woman in a red wedding dress could be seen crying by the roadside. When someone passed by, she would ask in a trembling voice, "Do I look like a human or a ghost?" If you answered wrong, your soul would scatter into nothingness. Chen Yu, who had studied in the city, scoffed at such village superstitions. Before he left home, his grandmother had warned him with a shaking voice, "Whatever happens, don't take the path through the old forest." He nodded impatiently, pretending to agree, but deep down, he didn't believe a word. The next morning, Chen Yu overslept and missed the early bus. In a hurry, he decided to cut through the old forest to save time. The moonlight filtered through the trees in scattered silver patches. The wind sighed through the branches. Crows cried in the distance, a sound that almost resembled weeping. Unbidden, his grandmother's story replayed in his mind, of Zheng's daughter, Shui, who had died tragically on her wedding day decades ago. Her bridal sedan had never reached her husband's house. She had perished midway. Since then, her restless spirit had haunted the woods. Just as the thought crossed his mind, a faint, sorrowful crying floated toward him on the wind. Chen Yu froze. Under the crooked old locust tree ahead, a woman in a red dress was crouching. Her shoulders trembled as she sobbed. In the pale moonlight, the woman slowly rose to her feet. A red veil covered her face. Yet Chen Yu could feel her gaze piercing straight through him. Then came the question, soft and hollow, like a voice bubbling up from underwater. "Do you think I look like a human or like a ghost?" Chen Yu remembered his grandmother's warning. He clenched his teeth and tried to walk around her without replying. But the woman floated forward, not walking, just gliding soundlessly, until she was right in front of him. "If you won't answer," she hissed, her voice suddenly sharp as a blade, "then stay with me, forever." A pale hand shot out from under the veil, its fingernails bright red like blood, reaching straight for his throat. Chen Yu dodged instinctively, his hand brushing her wrist. Icy cold, no pulse. Panicking, he pushed her with all his strength. There was a tearing sound, a rip, and then a sharp pain struck his temple. Everything went black. When dawn broke, Chen Yu awoke among a cluster of old, unmarked graves. In his hand, he was still clutching a half-rotten piece of red cloth. Terrified, he stumbled and crawled his way back to the village. Soon after, he fell seriously ill with a high fever, muttering incoherently. And the only thing he managed to leave behind before he died was a bloody fingerprint on the wall of his room. Since then, the villagers say, the old man from the ancestral shrine still keeps watch at the forest's edge. When the village elder came to see the mark on Chen Yu's hand, he sighed and said, "It's the mark of Shu. That girl's resentment is too deep. She can't bear the sight of young men." Then he told the story of long ago. On the day of her wedding, Shu's bridal sedan was ambushed by bandits. She fought back desperately, but was strangled to death inside her red bridal sedan, her eyes wide open, refusing to close even in death. Afterward, her jade pendant burned black, a sign of her unending grievance. Accompanied by the old man Zhao, Chen Yu went to Shu's grave, offered incense, and apologized for disturbing her. That very night, however, he dreamed again. Shui stood beside his bed, her red wedding veil covering half her face, her lips moving silently, forming words that had no sound. Full, jade, yellow in person. Chen Yu awoke in terror, trying to make sense of her message. After asking around the village's elderly women, he learned the truth. The red veil had been hand-embroidered by Shu herself. On it were the delicate words, "Whitehead, by two," a wish meaning to grow old together, never to part. But when she was buried, the veil had been missing one corner, torn off and never replaced. Her soul, it seemed, had remained incomplete, just like the veil. Chen Yu commissioned a new veil, one that was perfectly whole and unbroken. Under the moonlight, he placed it before her grave, along with the half-piece of red cloth he had once found. He whispered softly, "May you find in the next life the love you longed for." A gentle breeze stirred the night air. The tattered red cloth shimmered, then faded into glowing motes of light, disappearing into the sky. The bloody fingerprint that had stained Chen Yu's wall slowly faded away. And from that night onward, he was never haunted again. Yet villagers still say, on nights of the full moon, at the edge of the old forest, a figure in red can sometimes be seen standing quietly. She no longer weeps, nor asks her deadly question. She just stands there, bathed in the soft moonlight, her red bridal veil whole and shining. looking just like a bride awaiting her wedding day.